Hello everyone, so we're back with the Midler. Now the first, I think we've done 5 chapters. Yeah, we've done 5 chapters. They were all the date of the Monday the 1st of September, so that was the day they all went back to school. So everything that happened that we've already read in the story all happened on one day. Now the next lot of chapters are all about Tuesday the 2nd of September. So we're going to read chapter 6 today together. Right, let's have a go. Before we read, I haven't normally set you a challenge on this book, but I'd like you to set you a challenge of drawing the Wanderer girl, Una, because this book you've seen all the pages because I put the pages next to me when I'm reading for you. There's no illustrations, so you have to think about the words that the author is using to describe the characters to be able to see them in your mind's eye. So see if you can draw a picture of Una. You might draw a picture of her with Maggie with Trig's jumper. Okay, so chapter 6. Morning seeped round the edge of the blackouts. I scrunched up my eyes. Yesterday, Lindy, Crunk, Trig's grey jumper, pound cake hair, Una, the Wanderer. Dirty, dangerous, deceitful. I could take her some food, steal her some evidence, find out more about her, get some evidence, catch her even, turn her in and become a hero. Or I could just keep quiet like I always do and forget all about her. I got up and opened the blackout. Another bright hot day. The storm had passed. Miss Conte beamed at us from behind her desk, enormous bags under her eyes. What a pleasure it was to read your summer diaries, Class 4. She had 2 diaries clasped to her chest. I beamed back at her. The person I've chosen to be runner-up has worked really hard on their diary. They've treated it with care, written some very interesting accounts of their summer activities, and drawn some beautiful pictures. I've read about fruit picking. I wrote about fruit picking. I've read about long walks and seeing 3 rare red admirals up at the butterfly fields. That was me too. We saw them on the last day of the holidays. I went home and wrote about it and drew the picture on the very last page. And I've also read about making a birthday cake shaped like a hedgehog for someone's mum. The hedgehog cake for Mum's birthday. My heart grew huge. It grew huge and it filled up my whole body. Miss Conte was the best teacher in the world, the best teacher in the whole wide world. Yes, this year's runner-up is Jed Cruz. She held up the diary. Bashed up pages, all different sizes and colours, bent corners, folded edges, a dirty old piece of string holding it together, and nothing on the front except 4 words. Jed Cruz's summer diary. Wasn't even spelt right. How could he possibly be runner-up? This wasn't a real competition at all. It wasn't about diaries. It wasn't about how well you'd done or how much work you'd put in. It was just like everything else in this stupid town. It was all about the eldest's. I ground my teeth together. Come on, Jed. Come up here. Let's have a round of applause. Jed pushed his chair out. Screech! He ambled to the front. We all clapped for Jed. I made it look like I was clapping too, but I wasn't really. I slowed my hands down every time they came together so they didn't make any noise. And our winner, Miss Conte went on, is most deserved. I've never seen such a beautiful diary. Where did she even find the material that's been used to trim the edges? And these shiny little circles, are they tiny sequins? Quite extraordinary. The winner of the best summer diary is Lindy Chowdhury, who sadly isn't able to be with us today as she took a rather large bump on the head yesterday afternoon. The good news, though, is that she's going to make a full recovery. Another round of applause, please, Class 4. You never know. If we clap loud enough, maybe Lindy might hear it from home. Miss Conte chuckled at her own funniness, and everyone clapped for Lindy. I took a deep breath in It was right that Jed and Lindy won the prizes. Of course it was. They were eldists. They were going to camp to keep the rest of us safe. Our eldists are heroes, our eldists are special, our eldists are brave. I breathed out and joined in the clapping, properly this time, louder than everyone else. Now, I want you to remember that all of your diaries are wonderful. Miss Conte held back a yawn and pushed the remaining pile of summer diaries to the front of her desk. Could someone give them back out? Maddie? Maddie Cruz? Could you give out the diaries, please? Maddie? Maddie Cruz? Maddie Midler? There's no point even trying, really. No point even trying. Not unless you're prepared to do something as brave as the eldest, like go over to camp. Or catch a wanderer. I put my chalk down on my slate, pushed my chair out. I was going to do it. For real. I'd start today. Get home as soon... Get home as soon as possible after school and take those antibiotics from Dad's bag. Take them to the Wanderer girl, Una. Get her to trust me. Catch her good and proper. Then everyone will remember my name, even if I'm a middler. I walked over to Miss Conte's desk. Was everyone looking at me? Did I look different now that I was going to be a wanderer catcher? I picked up the diaries and turned around. Everyone was just sitting there, same as ever, fidgeting, doodling, scratching, whispering. No one was looking at me. No one was taking any notice of me at all, just like always. I handed out the diaries. My stomach curled and twisted inside. We walked home across the square the quickest way. I wanted to get back fast and find Dad's visiting bag. The sun grilled the backs of our necks. Maybe they were close, the diary competitions. Trig hadn't won a prize in his class either. He skittered around us trying to keep up. Do you think they were close? Maybe me or you would have got third place, Maggie, if there had been a third place. Do you think me or Mags would have got a third place, Jed? We weren't ever going to get first or second or third or fourth or even 100th, Trig. We weren't ever going to get anything. It's just a stupid diary competition. Jed kicked a stone. Don't know what you're worried about. A bunch of pigeons were strutting about in the middle of the square, underneath the statue of Andrew Salisbury. They peckered around his cold stone feet. I didn't even bother going around them, just walked straight through. They flapped up, all in a panic. Some of them landed on Andrew Salisbury's shoulders. Some of them flew all the way up to the mayor's roof, the tallest house in the town. I looked up into Andrew Salisbury's face. I could never tell if he was smiling or frowning. What's going on over there? Said Trig. The mayor's house had a triangular gable over the front door. A huddle of people were gathered under it. What are they doing? Can we go and see? Can we, Jed? Can we, Maggie? Let's just go home. I didn't have time for this. Had to get back to that bottle of Trellicillin. But can't we just go and have a look? Trig hung back, stood on his tiptoes. Just quickly. Mayor's probably brought something back from the city, said Jed. Come on, Mags, we should go over. Mum won't be happy if we could have got something but didn't stop. He was right, I suppose. We followed Trig over. The mayor had a table set up in the doorway. It was piled high with blue gas canisters. Just one per household, she was saying. These weren't easy to get hold of, I can assure you, and there's only a limited number. I'm ticking your names off the list as you take one, so no sending your kids back for another, all right? It won't work. She shoved a canister across the table to Figgy Rickard and ticked her name off the list. Hello there, Trig. You going to take one for the family? Make sure you carry it straight home, won't you? Yes, Mayor Anderson, I will, straight home. What do you want for it? Said Jed. All I want, Mr. Cruz, is to help everyone through the winter. Mayor Anderson picked up a canister, leaving the handle free. You ready for this, Trig? It's heavy. I'm ready. Trig grabbed the handle and the mayor let go. Smack! It dropped straight back down onto the table. I told you it was heavy. It's all right, I can do it. Trig wrapped his arms around the canister and lifted it up in a Trig hug. Brilliant. It was going to take us ages to get home now. You'll never be able to carry that, Trig, I said. Why don't we just leave it here and come back later with a handcart? They might be all gone by then, said Jed. Why don't I carry it? No, I can do it. Trig puffed out his cheeks. He made it about 20 steps, then clanged the canister onto the ground. I just need a bit of a rest, he said. Give it to me. Jed made a grab for the canister. No, Trig pushed him away. I'll do it. He got back up, gripped the handle with 2 fists and staggered on. He got as far as the laundry. Oh, Trig, I said. Told you we should have gone home first. Handcart, Mrs. Gebbie was sitting outside the laundry, like always, making sure people only went in on their proper allotted day of the week. That's what you want, a handcart. She didn't even look from her clickering needles. Eyes in the back of her head, Dad says. Her brother Frederick sat next to her in a wide brim hat. His beard was flecked with ginger. He blinked. Frederick never says anything at all. He's helpful at the dairy, Mum says, but he never speaks. Not ever. Not a single word. He had a book in his hand with pictures of really old-fashioned people on the front. Crime and something. It was upside down from where I was looking. It's all right, Mrs. Gebbie, said Jed. We're okay. I'll carry it from here, Trig. He picked the canister up like it was made of feathers. Trig smiled at Frederick. Frederick stared back. Come on, Trig, said Jed. Yeah, come on. I grabbed Trig's arm. Bye, Frederick. Bye, Mrs. Gebbie. Frederick carried on staring. Mrs. Gebbie carried on clickering. Jed loped off towards home, and me and Trig scampered after him. Maggie, Trig tugged on my sleeve. Lindsay says Frederick used to speak when he was a littlest. Says he used to speak all the time. He never says anything now, though, does he? Says it's because he went outside the boundary. Is that true, Maggie? Is it true? Shh, I said. Whispering's supposed to be quiet, not louder than how you usually talk. I glanced behind me. Didn't look like they'd heard. Come on, Jed called over his shoulder. Let's get home. Right, that's the end of chapter 6. So that's the beginning of Tuesday, the 2nd of September. So they've been to school and Maggie had worked so hard on her diary that she handed in yesterday. And even though it was probably better than Jed's, Jed and Lindy won because they're eldest. So I wonder why they keep making the eldest win first. Why are they so special? And I wonder if Maggie will get the antibiotics to go and take to Una. We'll see.